On your last note, sir, can you give the president now, General Buhari, what advice do you have to give him? Because every time I come to you, when I met you in Kogi, in Iyah, I asked you the same question. When I met you in Lagos, in Ogudu, I asked you the same question. Today in Abuja, I'm going to ask you, what are you going to tell the president to do at this critical moment of our country? He has just given instruction that they should make security tighten in our 8 borders. These are our border lines, and so that people will not come in. Do you think this is coming late? But what do you think you are going to tell him? Because people are watching in Europe, in America, in London, and some people believe your intelligence is worth it. It's worth the task. So what are you going to advise General Muhammadu Buhari, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, to do at this critical time for this country?
To be honest with you, it's very difficult for me to be specific. It's fairly difficult because he has gone more than halfway of his term. If it were at the early part of his term now, could have been fairly different. For example, when this insecurity was very, very hot, particularly in the northeastern part of Nigeria, I was thinking that the situation should have been treated like during the Nigerian Civil War. And I attended one wedding in Oshogbo. I think I was the chairman of the reception. And I emphasized at that time that the insurgency should be treated as
a full-blown war situation.
Yes, how we approach the civil war in Nigeria. And I even gave it what they should call a committee to be set up. Unfortunately, it didn't move done that way, but I should think that maybe a few months after that, I think they made General Danjuma the head of, I don't know the name of the committee or whatever.
Okay, PAC, that is PAC, Presidential something committee. Yes, Presidential what? Okay, Presidential Advisory Committee, PAC.
I don't know.
Yes, you are right, sir.
So, but the situation has changed today. I think we did not take this insecurity matter at that time as a national problem and treat it as
a matter of urgency.
Yes.
A matter of urgency.
Yes. And like we treated the war situation, we should treat it as Nigerian problem. And contributions, financial contributions, should be made by every adult Nigerian towards the prosecution of that insurgency. We did it until the thing became overblown. And I also probably have suggested, which is belated now, that certain people should be assembled, certain people with good record in this country, that cut across various professions, economic institutions, on how the insurgency should be prosecuted and brought to a close. There should be different committees at different levels. and that people who have shown character, records, should be people to be constituted into some of these committees, and they should have periodical meetings. Not full time. They have a secretariat here to advise the government. While this committee raises money, this raises strategy, approach. I don't know now, but if these are the two, if I'm to advise him, apart from the, these are apart from the sort of, maybe I don't know what to call it, but we call it underground limited committees that it could call within.
The twinkle of an eye.
Yes, to offer advice.
That could call on an emergency base from time to time.
Yes.
On security.
When something develops, and you just say, "Please come," Apart from the chief of army, Naval, Air Force, and so these are people who he sees every day and so on. And those people
should be able to connect with the grassroots to know what's going on at the four corners, at the fulcrums of the site.
Yeah, so these are this is what, and I think right now, again, maybe they already have that. We should have various committees that should already be working on rebuilding the country. We should have rebuilding the country, because the country had been damaged. How do we rebuild it? If you ask me if I'm to offer him advice.
Yes, sir, that's the question, sir, and that's what we beg you. I think I told you on phone that you need to advise him, advise the president.
So that is the third point I would, and that point is very, very to right now. Okay, because we can see now that we are gradually seeing the back of the insurgency and so on. But a lot of damages have been done. How do we rebuild the nation? And then particularly now, the number of killing going on in this country is frightening. It's frightening. I just imagine some of our people that outside this country, either in US, UK, Germany, and so on. How do you feel as a Nigerian with all these reports and so on? So I don't know whether you get any sense in what I've just said.
So much sense, sir, that there must be a community of impeccable men and women, men with good character, good record, that can be congregated at the shortest notice, and they're going to be a kind of presidential advisory committee who can be called to seek their opinion on disseminating of insurgents and rebuilding the country. Maybe they should be subgrouped, and some for the reputation to bring the country back to normalcy, and some to give advice on how to surmount the insurgency and to decimate it, and some on how to raise money for reputational build-up and all that, so that the president can have a good exit and the regime can be properly harnessed and the regime can have a good reputation in the global village.
And even beyond the period of regime, because government comes, government goes. Let's start. This would be my suggestion. There are some other things, but these are the major things.
We have to thank General Medayese Jemibewon, former governor, Western Nigeria, and first governor and administrator of Oyo State when it was founded, and former police affairs minister at the return of the Third Republic. We want to thank him for his time. It's not easy getting this elder statesman, but whenever we run into him, whenever we meet him, there's always wisdom for the progress of the country, not just the country alone, for the awareness and the beauty of the citizen of the country. Till some other time that I'm going to run into him, either in Abuja, in Iyah-Gbede, or in Ogudu, in Lagos, we want to tell you that you should please, around the country, let this discourse continue. Till that time, goodbye.